you put in your distributor, you want to oil that up, oil the whole entire assembly, and then replace this O-ring. Got this one in a kit. The easiest way I found to get off the old O-ring is to get a pick tool in here and then pry it off. Make sure you get under here, and then you can just travel it around, and that's on there pretty good. Then you match up the old O-ring with the new O-ring. Looks right like the right size. They actually provided 2 of these, I guess, just in case you break one. I'm not sure what's up with that. I hope that's not for something else. They give me 2. That flange should make it pretty easy just to slip right in there and just oil the whole thing up. Okay, I got the new O-ring on here, and there are, let's say if you remember that we made our notch right here, and that's still visible even though I wire wheeled it, so that was nice. Okay, it's not this big one because there's one on the other side. It's that tiny little notch with that. Alright, say you put a little bit of oil in here, and then I want to make sure that that's all oiled up nice and good. Ooh, I can feel some kind of burrs on the other side of there. I don't like that. You want to make sure that this mating surface is not oiled, because you don't want this to move. You just want the inside part to move. Whew. Let's go with that. Come on. Line up for me. Nope. See, this is what I'm talking about. It's kind of hard. It takes you a while to get those 2 notches lined up, because you're on top dead center right now, right? And when those 2 notches line up on the distributor, that should be when you're first rotor to fire. Our notch is over here. See that? But the other notch is over there. And those 2 notches should line up, so just keep at it until you can get those 2 lined up. These 2 notches, this one has to be turned quite a long way off, because when you slide it in and these gears catch, these angled gears, it will rotate in. So that's kind of how you have to try and set it, and you have to figure out how far off to the right you need to set it before they will correctly line up as you install it. So we'll give it a couple more goes, and I'm sure I'll get it. Again, it helps to check that you're at top dead center. My marks are just a little bit off, and that's why it's throwing off my distributor marks. I couldn't figure it out. It's because before I left for the night yesterday, I gave it a little bit of crank to tension that down, just to be sure, so it threw off the marks a little bit, but didn't think I would be needing that anymore. Forgot about the distributor, apparently. So make sure that your marks are aligned first. No matter what I could do, I had to set it in a different position. And maybe that's why my engine was running so poorly before. Maybe it was just a distributor issue, because I never checked the marks. I didn't know how. So now that I know, that chisel mark is way down here, and it was way up here. So I am right now completely advanced, and that's not where I should be. I got a feeling that does not look right. I should be right in the middle of that travel. But no matter what I do, no matter which gear I put it on, it's not going to line up, which makes me think that I didn't quite get the timing right, but the timing marks are lined up. So not exactly sure what to think about that one. Everything looks good. You know, those are exactly opposite those cams. I mean, everything looks good to me. All the timing marks, everything lines up. I'm at top dead center. I checked twice. So why doesn't that line up back with where it was? Maybe it was wrong to begin with. Maybe that might make sense. Not exactly sure. I guess I'm gonna leave it like that, and we'll go from here. Now that I have the distributor installed, I'm not going to reinstall the harness. Do not reinstall the connector harness. You're going to leave that off. You're going to leave your fuel injectors off. Next, we're going to install the fuel rail. but we'll leave the fuel injectors off. That is following the guidelines from Eric the Car Guy's, not exactly sure what the name of the video is. It's the one he did where procedures after a new rebuilt engine, let's just say, or break-in after a new rebuild. That episode really spoke to me because a lot of the procedures that he was doing I'm obviously going to need, and if any of you are going to be tearing down your head to the head gasket, let's say you've blown head gasket, you want to do it yourself, this is the exact procedure you will do on a Mazda 66 or MX-6 or Ford Probe or Ford Telstar. Proteges are going to be a little bit different, but for the most part it'll be the same. Let's just say 93 to 97, all of those models, and then the 98 to 2002 2.0 liter. The Europeans have a 1.8 and a 2.0. The GLX, I believe, is a little bit different because you guys, some of you guys over there in Europe have steering wheels on the wrong side of the car. I don't know how you did that, how you managed to do that. Might have been a manufacturing flaw. I'm guessing there's a big manufacturing flaw. Okay, when you go to reinstall your fuel rail, make sure that you have all of your little grommets on here. We are going to install the fuel rails. And I have them backwards. As these two lines are your fuel lines, and here's your fuel pressure regulator. So those two guys go on that side of the car. Alright, don't forget these two guys. I'm pretty sure that's what I was missing. Was thing number 1 and thing number 2. Some of the oxidation here with some oil. The best thing for these pipes is oil. Isn't it great when you put everything in bags? Fuel rail, it's got my bolts. Exactly what I was looking for. It's got another tiny little screw in there. Okay, I was wondering where this extra screw went, and it goes right there. I'm gonna kill that ice cream truck driver one of these days. Dude is so annoying. It's great when you're a kid. You're an adult trying to film. This makes me want to break out an AK. Same songs every day. 1, 2, break out my AK. Blow the ice cream truck driver away. I don't know what the torque specs are for those two right there, but I will post them right here. See how I did that? It's like magic. Let's do some easy stuff. Here you've got your electrical connector for your solenoid, one of your vacuum solenoids. This one comes off of your injector harness. That one obviously just plugs right in there, pretty easy. And then you remember this lime green guy? He just plugs right in there. That's pretty easy stuff. Just have a look around down there, make sure that there's no loose harnesses, make sure you got your starter hooked up, make sure everything's secured. And this one is kind of flopping around down here. I'm not sure how much I like that. Don't know what that bracket's for. That bracket might be something to hold this injector harness in place. Those little clips that go around, you know, it has a bolt hole kind of thing. That's what I'm guessing. I'm gonna have to find that one because I don't like, it's not a good idea to have your injector harness flopping around. So just take another look around, make sure you got all your wires. I don't want to be poking and prodding my hands too much in there because I'm sure I still got some brown widows down in there. There we go. Get your plier lock clamps on it, clamp it and move that over. You know, filming this stuff is a lot harder than it seems. It's a lot of this stuff you have to do one-handed and keep the camera in focus. It's like a little juggling act. It's hard. It's that I'm trying to do this with one hand so you guys can see too. It's hard to do one-handed. Yeah. Next time you guys have to do that, see if you can do it one-handed because that ain't gonna happen. Alright. Let's just, for the purpose of demonstration, imagine that that's back on. Alright, I actually ended up getting that with vice grips to move that over. That was a lot easier doing that. Before you put your throttle body back on, you want to ensure that this is a good mating surface. As you can see, there's a little bit of fiber here from the old gasket. Take your razor blade and scrape that off, and then maybe use some sandpaper to make it real smooth. 1200 grit or higher kind of thing. 1200, 1500, 2000 grit, whatever. Then make sure that your IAC lines are routed correctly. This one is going to connect to the bottom of the throttle body, so this one has to be routed, let's say, back behind this hose kind of thing, and then this hose will travel up, and everybody's kind of familiar with that one. That one's the one that connects to the top of your IAC, so this is going to be your inlet for your IAC, and that's going to be your outlet, and that is coolant that goes through there. So just to let you know, I'm guessing it should go this way with this part down. Okay, I feel like an idiot. Why is that not going on? Is there another connector? Aha! Look at that, another connector. That's too dark. Okay, so that one goes on to the EGR and clips on there good. And this one, that one's got to go to the throttle body somewhere. So I think we're just about ready to install the throttle body. Okay, I have some more tips on the throttle body. Even after the last time that I cleaned it, it still ended up getting stuck. You know, every time you would slap it close, it would jam. Got my new assembly lube that I used on the engine there. So you open the butterfly valve, you put your assembly lube in each corner of the valve, and then you get your, let's just say, pipe cleaners. I used pipe cleaners. From the other side, you know, work it back and forth, kind of like dental floss, so that it packs in those corners. I just kind of tried packing it into the little holes on each side, and the front and the back, and that really helped. Immediately helped. As you can see, I can freely turn that. So it's a lubrication problem. It's not exactly an out of round problem. These are always going to stay in round. They're brass. They're not going to warp. That did the trick. I mean, that's all there was to it. I also lubed up the springs and tried to pack in assembly lube and grease and anything that I could to get in there. That's if you have a stuck throttle body valve, let's just say a stuck gas pedal, that's what that is. You can come out and disconnect your accelerator pedal and then just try and work the throttle. This is the throttle right here. Okay, that's what works your throttle, this little spring. And it will be connected to a spring, but you can still use it. So if you try and turn this and it doesn't turn and it's stuck, it's because there's something going on with your valve there. This should turn freely. So now that that's fixed, that's ready to go back on the car, I'm feeling good about that one. Let's go install it. Okay, there's only one correct way to put the throttle body gasket on. You'll see these holes don't match up going this way. So there's only one correct way. So you don't have to worry about trying to flip-flop or mess up how this is aligned. It will only go on one way. So since we know it goes on this way, we can just put our throttle body gasket on first. Now we install the throttle body. It's only going to go in there one way. And you should have your 2 remaining bolts in a bag somewhere. Throttle body bag. It's got 2 bolts and 2 nuts. 12mm. Alright, and the throttle body bolt torque specs are right here. Bam! After you get the IC coolant lines on, next you would probably want to do your acceleration cable. And that guy will get twisted all the way back over here and back down through this bracket. Hold you like so while I try and slip in these clips. There you go. As long as you didn't adjust it, you didn't mess with the adjustable lock, whatever, on that. What you do for acceleration pedal adjustments, if your acceleration pedal isn't at full travel or something, you know, there's some slack in it, that's the only time that you really want to adjust that. Otherwise, if you're just disconnecting it, just disconnect the harness and take it off. It's a lot easier. That's just the locking mechanism, and the twisting is just for adjusting that, not removing or reassembling. It's actually easier if you push the throttle down, stick the pin in. Crap, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this with one hand. After you get your pin in, make sure that your throttle body sits flush all the way at the top and the bottom, and you're good on that. This replacement hose for the lower radiator hose is a Goodyear 62029. This one seems good for the lower radiator hose. This one, 62105, is really long, way too long. So I'm gonna have to cut that. Not a big deal. Got that from Rock Auto. Just FYI, in case you decide to go with the Goodyears, I probably won't recommend those again, because these are really thin wall, you know, compared to the OEMs, which are definitely thicker. This is like nothing. I might actually end up just replacing that one again. That is way too thin walled. I can see that. I mean, I can kink that with my hand, basically, you know. A little disappointed in that hose, but I think that one, the lower radiator hose, that's going to work out. So I'm going to swap out these radiator hoses, change out my thermostat. I don't know how well you can see down in there, but it looks like rusted crud. A lot of it. Inside of that hose doesn't look that much better. Laid these two on top of each other. Alright, took my hacksaw, cut it. Now I'll just use a little X-Acto knife to finish off the rest. Alright, now I really want to show everyone all of the little things that go along with reinstalling your parts. It's all these little things like cleaning up clamps. I just want to make sure that all this stuff looks as nice as it possibly can before it goes back on the car, either functional or aesthetic. So maybe that's just me, but stuff like this eats into a lot of the time that you just don't see being recorded. Even on daily projections, yeah, this should only take me an hour, you know, to do this or that, you know, but in reality it actually takes me about 2 or 3 hours, because I see stuff like this and I just want to clean it. I want to make sure that it looks somewhat nice, so that when I look in my engine bay, I like how everything looks. Maybe that's just a matter of personal pride. I want to take pride in the work that I put into my car. So you take something like this that was all completely grimed over with gunk and oil and stuff, you just take a wire brush to it, and you know, now it's basically silver. So it's just little things. Alright, finally got my new hose on, but let me tell you, that was a bitch. I had to put motor oil. I tried assembly lube, that didn't work. Motor oil works the best. Just lube it up with motor oil, because it's brand new. It's going to be sticky if you use assembly lube. The assembly lube will be nice and lubricated at first, but then it will wick away. I guess maybe it's just the Florida humidity, and then it kind of becomes sticky and you're working uphill. So motor oil did the trick, and as soon as I used motor oil, went back on. That's that, went right back on. You can see it's kind of lubed up there. And now the lower, now that I know how to do that one, I think the lower should be a little bit easier. But while I have the lower out, I'm also going to replace the thermostat. Alright, I undid the lower radiator hose and a lot of coolant came out. And this is after I fully drained the system during the reassembly. And that spot there is just from where it's traveling from the cross member, let's just say, all the way across and then dripping down. That has nothing to do with a different leak. That's still all this. But look at all that coolant that was still in the system. So I'm thinking radiator clog. What do you guys think? I'm going to take this off, upper radiator hose, flush it from the upper radiator side and flush it down the lower. Okay, after you get the upper and lower radiator hoses out, you're going to, if you want to replace your thermostat, you can do that. Ow, that's a lot of torque. It's starting to rain. You gotta be shitting me. Come on! It's starting to rain. All my tools, everything. I don't think it'll be that bad. I'm gonna work right through it. Oh, come on. Stop. Don't rain. Don't rain. Don't rain. Oh. Well, if that isn't yucky, yeah, nasty. Now that it started raining, I don't have my manual. And I don't know how to take that out. What is that? Never seen anything like that in any of the manuals. I have no clue what those are. They're like little tatas. I just want to play with them. My neighbor Frank just came over, told me to just pull it right out. It was just stuck in there, so get a pair of pliers, grab it on the end, and just pull it straight out. And then you got the new one in there, and it's got this little tab on the end, and that gets aligned right up with that hole. So those two marry up, and then you just basically stick that right back down on like that, and bolt it right back in. And I think we're about to get a good rainstorm, so I think I'm gonna have to quit here. Okay, got the thermostat in, got my hose. That thing is a pain in the butt because these walls are thinner. The clamps clamp down harder, so you have to fully. That right there. I want to hurt you. I want to hurt you. Basically, today I just got the throttle body on and two little hoses and a thermostat and distributor, timing. Didn't get the fired up, not even close. I probably would have, but yeah, it's raining. And as pretty as that looks for someone working on their car, that's not pretty. That sucks. I need it today. Now I've only got one more day left. I needed today. And it's lightning and thundering out, and so I have to definitely go inside. I don't think it'll be that bad. I don't think it'll be that bad. I don't think it'll be that bad. I'm gonna work right through it.